always wanted all these Sonic the Hedgehog Happy Meal toys from McDonald's as a kid, but now I have the full set we can open up brand new and check out. There weren't a lot of toys of video game characters back then, so these were kind of special. McDonald's toys were often sought after back then because it would be toys of stuff that never had any toys to begin with. These are for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 video game that was released in 1994, February, early in the year. Of course, that's kind of a two-part game where Sonic and Knuckles can kind of combine with it and finish the game. That didn't come out until October of 1994. Apparently, there was some deal where with this McDonald's toys, they kind of had to release the game earlier than they wanted. It was just supposed to be one game, but instead they had to kind of release Sonic 3 on its own early, like half the game, and you'd have to wait for Sonic and Knuckles to finish the game. But, you know, the promotion machine moves on and out came the toys, although the toys actually kind of follow the cartoon shows of the time, a little bit more than the video game styles. And I have the kind of 5th special secret toy as well. So I only ever had Knuckles as a kid. If there was one I wanted to have, would have been Sonic. I don't know why I didn't end up with old Sonic here, because I had the full set of Super Mario Bros. 3 toys that I played with all the time. So I really wanted Sonic because I always got to play my Sega Genesis renting the games like Sonic 2. We can open this brand new Sonic the Hedgehog McDonald's toy here. It has like a little launcher piece, and then the Sonic comes in its own little bag, interestingly enough. I'm born! So he's just a set little piece there. He definitely looks super early Sonic cartoony look. Again, I think they kind of doubled this up and tried to make it look like the cartoon show. Sonic was voiced by Steve Urkel. Hey, Uncle Carl, is Laura home? He's got wheels underneath, so he does roll. But the idea is the launcher here. He's kind of got an old school, like, action figure style spring-loaded missile. He's the missile. He'd lock in and jump on out. But the idea was he would run. Holy crap, he's gone. It's kind of a chunky piece, and the missile doesn't have the power to fire him too much, but with the wheels underneath there, he will really roll, especially if he had an even smoother surface here. So we had a great function shooting out like that. Definitely would have played with this a lot as a kid. I played with the Super Mario toys and stuff like that so much too, even though they couldn't really articulate or move a whole lot. Yeah, this is a great one for Sonic. And these arms actually do move. They're on a little bit of a hinge here. So I guess he does have a little bit of movement. But he's kind of in a good position there anyway with the kind of one arm out run kind of thing going on. But technically you could swap it around. So this side he had the arm back. So hey, he's got a little extra function there outside of his shooting out running thing. These are supposed to be flames, I guess. A little weird up in the nose area there, but I like this older school style look. Kind of the original Sonic games and cartoon. And of course, by then we've introduced Tails to the games. From Sonic 2, leading into Sonic 3. Miles, Tails, Prower. But again, this kind of looks more like the cartoon imagery for Tails. So let's rip this freaking open. Oh, geez. This one I probably would have been a little disappointed in as a kid having it. Its Tails is basically just a sticker on a flat piece. The tails are kind of there molded with his little spinny disc there, so I still probably would have played around with him, but probably would have got worn out pretty quick since he was just a sticker. But he has his launcher, just says Tails. Just has a pull string that spins the launching mechanism, because he can fly on his own. You just gotta lock this in place, the little shape. And let's see what I can break by doing this. Wow, okay, now gotta do it a little harder than that. Let's try that again. Oh, jeez. Ah! Okay, so you gotta really pull on it hard to get him to fly up, because it's using some real aerodynamics to get the flight. Otherwise he just kind of comes out spinning, which is still kind of cool. He still runs on the ground just like it would in the game a little bit. I wonder how many of these hit some strangers in the McDonald's. Kids just like shooting them off. Just couldn't wait to get home. Wanting to shoot the Tails toy. Well, yeah, and he's just a sticker, but it is a pretty cool function of a toy. Might make displaying it a little difficult for me, but maybe not. Got a little height with Tails here, and you can put Sonic in front of him so you can see both. Because I am just getting these as collectibles, of course, just for like 90s memorabilia of like video games and things that I always watched. I always watched cartoons as well. I didn't have the McChili dog to tie in with this one. We got Knuckles, who is kind of mysterious at this point. He also wouldn't have even been playable in the game. So you had to kind of think of him, maybe he was like a villain. Some early artwork of Knuckles there. Rip this open. Whoa. He's got his little cloud of doom here. Boy, this is like poorly painted. He's got like black all over his eye. But again, they're McDonald's toys, so what do you expect here? Pretty cool up in there, and then he's got the wheels. He's kind of got a punchy spin storm thing going on there with his little play function. So not too bad. You only get like half of him, but he does kind of have this like function of attack. In a way, they all kind of are on wheels in a little bit of a way. But he's kind of the most boring one as far as play, since he doesn't really do anything on his own. You got to be the one pushing to get his spin attack going. But like the first Knuckles toy ever made, basically. Where's the Chaos Emeralds? I like them. So here's a little bit of an interesting one. It straight up says Dr. Ivo Robotnik. And here it's a little more like the game art, or the way he would look in the video games on SEGA. And we can rip this bro open to see that his face is very much like the cartoon Dr. Robotnik, actually. That's where I think they kind of modeled these more of what more kids would have seen in the cartoon than maybe kids that owned a Sega and were playing the video games. Even though it straight up said Sonic 3, like they're off the video game. Very much the cartoon appearance, where he kind of had an eggy head also, not just the body. But he's in one of his little vehicle things. He's got like a flame coming out the back, sitting in there. Decent amount of colors. Not sure why he always had the different colored nose. But what's really interesting is in Japan, it had a different design and he looked more like the video game character. So I would love to get that one in some way. If I could find a way to import, I would love to display that one with mine, since they would be more like the video game if you had the Robotnik that looked like the game model. But this one is a kind of another wheeled one, wind up. Get him wound up and loaded. I think the mechanism on this one is kind of messed up. It's not going to be able to show its function. But it would just kind of roll around all crazy there, allegedly being able to stop itself from going over the edge of a table or surface. But I kind of thought the most coolest part was just the Japanese one looked different, and I'd like to find that eventually, so I'll let you know if I ever do. And the super rare 5th toy, because it was the special ask one for kids under 3, because apparently they would swallow Sonic the Hedgehog otherwise. Why did I spend money to get this? I don't know, but I'm going to open it anyway. Just for you! So I hope you feel special. Whoa, it's a ball! It's mildly squishy. Do not inflate! But it's just got an old picture of Oceanic on there. Didn't specifically say Sonic 3 or anything, but there you go. It is a ball, spherical in nature, rolling features, not the greatest bounce. It appears to be yellow in color. Anyway, it's just for the collection. I can have the ball with all the other toys looking cool together with all their colors, actually. Of course, kind of why Sonic has endeared all this time is just the cool character design in those early games. Just really good platformers and all the secrets and paths and the speed and just everything all together. Only ever got to rent Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Would like to own them because there was a lot of game there. But probably more than even owning the games, I wish I would have had all these toys as a kid, because I would love to play Sonic the Hedgehog. And there just wasn't an action figure line to support it. Just these McDonald's toys. So I'm always showing off my old retro toy collections here, or showing newer ones I get to collect or complete a collection I already had. Check out the McDonald's Mario Brothers toys. I did a video about finishing that little collection. That one had a 5th toy that was a little more impressive than a ball. Look forward to that. And I'm always showing other 90s toy lines as well here. So hopefully you'll get subscribed so I can see you in the next video next time.